Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I, Asif Ali, presenting the advent of Islam in North India. The advent of Islam in North India was a series of major historical events which left its impact till date on the Indian subcontinent. This study will elaborate how Islam entered in India, specifically in the period of 712 to 1206 AD. I would like to mention this date because I am going before Delhi Sultanate, when Islam came to India. Before the establishment of Delhi Sultanate, with a major focus on the question whether Islam spread in India with the force of swords or by the cultural exchange between Muslims and non-Muslims. Between Muslims and non-Muslim traders, scholars, specifically the Sufis, who played a vital role in introducing Islam in a peaceful fashion by practicing the religion in its best form. And the study will emphasize the state of Muslims post-Arab conquest of Sindh in 712 CE and before the Ghaznavid campaign in the beginning of 1000 CE. I would like to emphasize here that when we start studying Islam in India, we start talking about 712 AD when Muhammad bin Qasim came to India, and then we are skipping around 300 years of Muslim history in India, that is from 712 to 1000 CE. I have influenced and emphasized my study that these 300 years of time was very important and very crucial for Islam to spread in this country. Then the key findings of this study are that Islam arrived in India much before the military campaigns through peaceful means by the traders, Sufis and common people. And Islam spread in the period of 712 CE to 1000 CE, much before the popular historical presented events of campaigns by Muslim rulers. I would like to mention three theories which emerged when we talk about advent of Islam in India. The first theory talks about there is a popular and accepted narrative that Islam entered in India through Malabar coast as early as in the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him himself. Then there is no debate on this topic, but there is another group of people, some scholars argue that Islam arrived in India by force and by the invading armies and kings, and Islam is the byproduct of conquest made by Muslim rulers in India. This is a debate going on. Some even go beyond and accuse of forceful conversion of local Indians at the edge of swords by the threats of confiscating their lands, etc. I would like to quote few people who talk that Muslim rulers came on the horses when in one of their hand was sword and in one of their hands was Quran. Then Professor Ram Punyani historically said how they rode the horse. If one hand is in sword and in one hand there is a Quran, there is no logic behind this. Then I am talking about the famous Orientalist scholar T.W.R.T. Arnold. He has written a book called Preaching of Islam, which is the basis of how Islam spread in all across the world. He started his talk on spread of Islam in India by accusing the Muslim rulers like Mahmud of Ghazna, Temur Lane, Aurangzeb, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. He accused them that they used force to spread Islam in India. But in the same book, I am quoting Preaching of Islam by Arnold, which was published in around 1913, page 254 to 262, he accuses Muslim kings that they used force to spread Islam. But he himself, T.W.D. Arnold, was not convinced about his research. He himself said, and I quote, "It should be noted that the only authority of these forced conversion is family or local tradition, and no mention of such, as far as I have been able to discover, is made in the historical accounts of Aurangzeb's reign." He was mentioning about Aurangzeb. He again goes on to note the immaterial impact of forceful conversion. He said, and I quote, "How little was effected towards the spread of Islam by violence on the part of Mohammedan rulers may be judged from the fact that even in the centers of the Mohammedan power, such as Delhi and Agra, the Mohammedans in modern times in the former district hardly exceeded the 10th, and in the latter they did not form 1/4 of the population." He said in 262, and even today it's so true that if force was used to convert people, we have ruled Delhi for 600 years, we could have converted each and every one, but we didn't even go beyond 1/10. Then the last finding of my study is some scholars present the most important theory about the advent of Islam in India as a result of missionary activities carried out by various individuals. I'm just quoting T.W. Arnold again. He said, but among the 66 millions of Indian Muslims, there are vast number of converts or descendants of converts in whose conversion force played no part, and the only influence at work were the teachings and persuasion of peaceful missionaries. That is what I have. I have around 5,000 words of the paper. Inshallah, if it get published, you will get a chance to look at it. Thank you so much.